Hi, I'm Heather, and for the Module 5 discussion, I would like to start with prompt 1, which talks about the assimilation process, and then, at our current job, how I was assimilated into my most recent job, which is actually at a fitness studio. So we actually had to audition and send them a video like this and a resume and all that stuff for them to choose us to be able to audition there. And then if you made it in, which a lot of people audition actually, then you have to go through like an 8-week process of training, and then also culture, like training, adapting into the culture. You do like a lot of kind of like a lot of team building things like that, which is awesome. And it's a really good glimpse into what the future of being an employee there is like, because we are very focused on ourselves as a team. And they really try to preach like inclusivity. So like letting everybody be involved and just having each other's back. And it's really great. But the thing about the 8-week training is some people don't like. I mean, we had a girl in my group that they were just like, I don't know if you're the right fit for us, and vice versa. And she just, yeah, I mean, they were absolutely right. But it's just, keeping up with the culture, or else you won't work there. So I guess it's a really good kind of insight into that. And then page 100 says, organizations begin to assimilate you into their culture before you're even hired. And then it goes on to say that websites are developed to attract not only customers, but future employees. And that is absolutely true. I went to our website because I was kind of looking for a mission statement or something similar to that. So it says, as a team and family, we're committed to creating an inclusive, connected community, determined to shake up the norms and level up the potential of group fitness. We believe in celebrating every athlete's journey and everything that makes you you. And they really do preach that, just being 100% yourself and being really confident. And I think in teaching fitness, you kind of have to do that anyways. Otherwise, people, they're not as drawn to you and they won't listen to you as much too. So really going in with that confidence and knowing yourself. And then also just making sure everybody's treating each other like not exclusively, so inclusively. So like when everybody walks in the door, that everybody feels a part of the group there. And I think that we do a really good job at, letting future employees and current employees know that that's just what we're about. So then I did the second prompt it was actually the third prompt, but it was the second one I'm going to do. Strategies that are necessary when adapting to gender differences in the workplace. So I liked how this was explained. Rapport talk versus report talk, and it says page 110 goes into all of this, but how women communicate to establish relationships. So use the rapport talk, which it helps to promote social affiliation and emotional connection, whereas males will use report talk, so it's more to the point, about exchanging information, a little bit less detailed. And so in that, I think that because it asked what the conversational rituals followed by men and women are, and strategies as well. So I think a strategy that the book prosed was to approach with cultural competence as you would any other type of diversity. And understanding these cultural differences helps to avoid miscommunication and stereotype the other as a woman. Like, if a woman is asking or choosing to kind of continue conversation and details, and the book said that it might seem like a woman's being unsure of herself, but if you do understand that there are definitely gender differences, and then striving to learn more, asking questions, using perception checking, and then continually checking your understanding. It helps us get past those little differences that we have. And then the third one I did is evaluate comparing and contrasting as the best way to understand generational communication. And then, so one of the things that I guess you're comparing and contrasting when you're saying, like we all grew up in different times. So how might that be different from my experience be different from yours? Like we grew up in, you know, a lot more, most of us did, in age of computers, and that's generational for us. People who are older have a lot harder time with that. But the book said, page 115, it said our own personal worldview forms at an early age and is often influenced by major, often historical events. And then the book also talked about like the Vietnam War versus the Great Depression or 9/11 and how that could potentially shape how we are, how we respond to people. And then I just feel like putting ourselves in other people's shoes is just a really good way to understand people in general, not just generationally, but, you know, also the same things like just mutual respect, perception checking, and then trying to keep striving for cultural competence is going to help to kind of bridge that generational gap. One thing that I also want to mention, I know my video is kind of long, but I want to mention really quickly because I thought it was so interesting, is I actually read this in another book for another class, but it was talking about reverse mentorship and how it's got really dark, how we companies are using like younger people, like people in their 20s or just right out of college, to go in and mentor people in their 40s and 50s and 60s and people who didn't grow up with as much technology around to help them. So I thought that that was kind of cool because normally it would be the opposite. But yeah, sorry about the length.